Oh, what is up, Teach Better family? It is, wow, it's 5 o'clock here on the Eastern time zone. And it's a Wednesday, December 22nd, which means this is your brain break. I am in a state of holiday cheer and bliss because I am drinking a new cranberry sauce sour ale from Enchantress, which is the Three Taverns craft beer. I don't know, somewhere down in Georgia, I assume. It came from my brother from Atlanta. So I'm happy. Dave is got some crude things that he wants us to do today, so I don't know what's going on. What do you got there? You got Blue Moon Classic?
Blue Moon Classic and a little bit of water, just in case.
I love you always have a little bit of water. But anyway, we're here. We're excited to be here. This is the last brain break together for the year because you won't be around next week because you are going south to get to warmer weather. We'll tackle that whole thing later. But we're excited you're here. If you're watching with us, drop in the comments. Let us know where are you watching from. What are you taking a break from? Hopefully you're on break at this point. So what are you enjoying? What are you snacking on? What are you drinking on? What do you got going on for the holiday shopping? Comment, let us know. And we're gonna get back to the shenanigans here in about 52 seconds. Is it me or that 52 seconds feel like 4 minutes?
I got like 4 big drinks of water in that 52 seconds. So yeah, it was a little long.
I texted my brother who got me the beer and I was like, hey, just so you know, I'm drinking the beer on our live stream right now because this is my job.
Well, I think Katie Miglin might be sampling some of that beer right now too. She's throwing out "Hello, Gentlemen."
I'm pretty sure she's using vodka at that point. If she's using Gentlemen, she's
either that or it's a carryover message from like a daily drop-in earlier in the week or something.
Speaking of vodka, I don't know why I say it that way, but there's Jeremy Renko. I don't know why that connects to vodka, but for some reason, it's good to see you, brother. Apparently,
Jeremy Renko makes you feel good, like vodka does, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Sure. You know, I think when someone says, "Hey, what do you think of when you think of Jeremy Renko?" and I said, "You know what? Nice glass of vodka." That's what I think of. I don't know. So what's up with you, dude?
Well, right now I'm super jealous. I'm going to go back to Katie Miglin again. Blueberry wheat beer, and you're sitting there drinking the cranberry stuff, and I've got
cranberry
Blue Moon
sauce.
Is good. Blue Moon is good.
Blue Moon's good. Blue Moon's one of my favorites.
But it's yeah. I feel like I need to go get some juice or something and put it in there.
I don't know what I'm not listening. This is so good. I'm just not listening to you. Dave was talking. Before we went live. Dave was actually like telling me something actually important, like to business, and I'm just like, I don't know, dude. I'm not listening to you anymore. Like
you assume it was good. You have no idea.
Jeremy, that should not get you in trouble with your wife. She needs to understand she's got herself a big, beautiful glass of vodka.
Yeah, you can be mixed with anything, Jeremy. That's what it means. You just make everything better.
You make everything better, and you make Dave and I make bad decisions. Who is this telling us alcoholic educators? I think educators is probably you're playing a little fast and loose with that word.
That's the word you're saying that they misapplied. Okay.
Light sky blue mood. Oh, Katie's drunk. I think she meant blue moon. Do you mean blue moon?
I think she did. It's basically
they have light sky, right?
It's like the Bud Light.
Yeah, it's the Bud Light of that. Yeah. Matt, get Katie another one. Anyway, so you're going to be gone next week because and I keep joking about this. I literally have, I don't know if you saw, like I have a task for myself that says find a co-host for the 29th because Dave has to go south for warmer weather for some reason. You are going south.
I am.
But you're in Florida on the Gulf.
Yeah, I am.
You're about as south as we can get, but actually you can go quite a bit further south just in Florida.
Oh yeah. So I'm home alone right now, so I feel like I can speak freely, knowing full well that none of my family is watching this. Because where we go for our vacation each year between Christmas and New Year's is a surprise. It's like the present that the kids get. It's a surprise where we're going to go, what we're going to do, and the presents that they open up on Christmas Day, kind of they're hints to try to let them know where vacation's going to be. Now I've got a son who is 8, turning 9 on the 28th, and I've been able to convince him now for 8 years that this little trip we go on is all because of it's his birthday. So he thinks we go on a birthday trip. The kids think that their Christmas presents are all for the trip. In reality, it's cost savings. It is financial stewardship. I am going on vacation and building birthday presents and Christmas presents all into a vacation that has been paid for now for 10 years because it's part of a timeshare thing. So,
you pretty smart. Timeshare?
I do.
Where's it at? Where's it at?
So we are heading down to Miami. So our timeshare, we can go to places all over the place. So we are yet to repeat a place, but we've been all over the place. So we've got Miami coming up now. Our next one, I want to say it's LA, like Anaheim area or something like that. But yeah, so
I have to talk to you about this whole timeshare thing.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet.
What's going on? Timeshare's got a bad rep. My uncle has one, and it's a pretty awesome deal that he has. I think you just have to be really careful with and know what you're getting into.
Yeah, luckily I bought in to a pretty good deal back before there were all the add-ons and the extra hoops, and so my contract was pretty good. So
interesting.
Yeah.
So you're going to Miami?
Yep, we're going to Miami. I've never been to the Florida Keys, so we'll make a drive down to the Keys one day and spend a little bit of time just hanging out and relaxing as a family.
Do the Florida Keys, do they unlock any doors, or is that just like a in name only?
Yeah, I think it's just a name, or that they tell me that I don't know.
This past June I went to Siesta Key and it unlocked some siestas. Just saying.
Okay, fair enough.
Sorry,
you're such a dork.
I know. 4 sips in and he's done. Oh, this is a good beer. This is okay. So that's exciting. So I know your focus is with the present stuff is been on for a while now and you've been continuing to focus on experiences and stuff. And you actually inspired me, and we have changed that. That's sort of where we focus now is we're on experience. So like the big thing that my kids are getting this year is that we're going to take a trip to Legoland Discovery Land.
Ooh.
Because on our way up to Canada every year, when we go around Toronto, just north of Toronto, there's Vaughan, the city of Vaughan. That's where there's one of the Legolands, and it's on at the beginning of all the Lego movies. That's the one to show where they say Toronto. That's where it's at. We go by it, you see the sign and stuff, and so we're gonna go early when we go up to Canada and do that. So they're gonna get that.
That's so cool.
So we're focusing on that, like the experience and the excitement around that and stuff. And like they got from my mom, they're going to an indoor water park and stuff. So like,
that's so good.
It's really cool, and it is less expensive. I'm not gonna lie. I think
it's less expensive, and you can play it up longer, right? Because like on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day, normally presents are open and it's a mess, and then everybody's crashed by noon, and the kids are bored and like go play with your new stuff, and by noon you're getting in arguments with them. This way you can drag it out and you can keep reminding them until the experience that thing is coming. And then once that happens, then you can set them up until next Christmas saying, oh, you'll get a surprise for the next big thing on Christmas. And you can play this up all year long if you do it right.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree 100%. And then also I was thinking about like anytime they watch like the Lego Batman movie, we're going there.
Right. Yeah.
just remind them again. So yeah, it's super cool. But I think just we looked at it was a combination of you, but like Amy and I were just talking like wish we had the kids like they don't need anything. Jonathan literally has at least 4, if not more, like action figures that he's never opened.
Mm-hmm.
That he's gotten over the last couple of years, and like one of them was like a 10-pack Fortnite action figure, and like he just doesn't open them. And I'm like, they don't need more stuff. We're very fortunate that they're able to have a bunch of stuff. They get it from the grandparents stuff. I'm like, you know what? We need to, and that's why I told him. I said, Dave, in all his brilliance and wisdom, just does experiences.
Well,
so we decided to do that.
And it's because I'm a cheapskate too. Because let me unpack some of the.
That's part of your brilliance.
Yeah, right. On Christmas, I mean, they're gonna find out about the trip, but it's. Thank you, Katie. She is drinking. It's there are clues, and I can buy presents that they would normally be bored with, but I can act like they're clues. So like for our trip to Miami, they're getting flip-flops, cheap little flip-flops that I can count as a present, and it's a clue.
You're doing this
They're gonna get,
for like, so that's what they're gonna be getting for Christmas. And stuff. Okay.
like hoodies that say Miami. It's clothing, but it's a clue. And so I'm pre-buying the souvenirs too at the same time. See?
I like it.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
And you're buying those souvenirs not at souvenir pricing.
Absolutely. Yep.
So-
Wish.com, baby.
So we're not doing that. We have some other little things, but one thing, what I am going to do is I've got a picture of the Discovery Land, and I'm cutting it all up into little pieces, and then they're going to go on a hunt, with clues all through the house, but they're going to be written on the back of those, so they're not even going to realize that they're collecting the puzzle pieces. And the last one is I can't remember how to phrase it. It's like put them all together or something like that, and they're going to have to piece it all together like a puzzle. So that in itself is a gift.
That's cool. That's cool.
And I always bring Alexa to that. So at least one or two of them, they have to ask Alexa a question, and she'll give them the next clue and stuff. So
well played, sir.
It's good
well
stuff.
played.
It's fun. We did that a few years ago.
I was gonna say, do you have other where were you 2 months ago when she was buying all this stuff? It's funny. Well, we're here for you now, Katie. We're here for you now. Do you have any other traditions around the holiday time that you do? So like in our family, Christmas Eve, we do certain things. I'll share my stuff in a second. But do you have set traditions, set things that happen every single year?
Yeah, so it used to be. So Christmas Eve used to always be. It was. I just remember so much from my when I was younger. We all went over to my dad's mom, my grandma's. My dad's one of 7, so all the aunts and uncles are there and stuff. Now that kind of ended years ago as everyone moved away and everything like that. But then for a while, it was just kind of like we would go to my parents. But then about 7 or 8 years ago, my brother invited us over to his house for it and cooked this massive meal. My brother's an incredible chef, and that became the tradition. So now that's what we do Christmas Eve. We didn't do it last year because of COVID. We did a Zoom instead. So I'm super excited. So Friday night, we'll go out there. It's about an hour away. He'll cook all kinds of, just be a ridiculous amount of food. So that's sort of our tradition there. And then that's really, so we used to always get together with my grandparents as they've gotten older. We combine them with my parents. So this past Sunday, we were out at my parents to do an exchange with them and my grandparents, stuff like that. Christmas Eve will be with my brother and pretty much all the same people as Sunday, but at a different location, and a few extra ones added in. And then on the Christmas Day, that changed about maybe 6-7 years ago too. And it was like the best thing we did, where we don't like Christmas Eve or Christmas Day is just at our house. We don't like go places and people don't come over. We just wake up and do the stuff. So I don't know if that's necessarily cool. Those aren't really cool traditions, but that's what we do.
That's cool. That's very good. Yeah. So this year we're doing things a little bit differently. So we do have some traditions that we do every year, but this year we've already got a few changes. We're in Florida. I don't know if I've told you this before or not.
Is that a tradition now? You're going to stay in Florida?
I think so. But my in-laws are now snowbirds, so they spend the summers up in Michigan, and now they have a place down here too, just about 5 miles from me. So this year they were kind of sad that they were going to be away from everybody for Christmas because they're down here just by us. So my sister-in-law actually flew in from San Diego with her kids and family. We surprised my in-laws on Tuesday. Really? They had no idea they were coming in, so we surprised them, and they're actually all hanging out on the beach and stuff today.
Are they staying for Christmas then?
They're staying through Christmas.
That's awesome. Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah, and to make it even better, they've got a condo hotel on the beach, so we can see them during the day, but I don't have to worry about all the other stuff.
They got their own, yeah.
That's cool. But we've carved out Christmas Eve to still be just for our immediate family, because Christmas Eve, that's when we do our stuff with. I say just us, but there's still 6 of us. Me,
with
my
the
wife,
kids. Is that when the kids get all the presents too?
It's not. No, Christmas Eve there's a big box that's now currently sitting under the tree. It's the same box we've used now for 15 years. And in that box is some popcorn, is a new movie to watch of some variety. There's a puzzle, a board game, and pajamas for everybody. But it's all put in the box, and they all get to open it on Christmas Eve. And every year they act like it's a surprise.
Do you wrap the present, like the box, like every year?
The box is wrapped. And they're all shocked, but they know what's in it. But they love the unveiling of the pajamas and what's going to be the board game, what's the puzzle, what's the movie, and then we spend the rest of the night just hanging out around TV watching some sort of cheesy movie that we can all watch. So it's pretty cool.
What's the movie this year?
I have no idea. I didn't buy it.
Like I bought the box.
Right. I bought the box 15 years ago. Yeah.
15 years ago.
My responsibility tends to be around what is the game and or getting the puzzle. So
what's the game?
This year it's a good one. And interestingly enough, it's a game that I also got as a present for myself. Somebody got it for me. So I've been I opened it up just now for us to be able to play. And I'm going to hide it, and then I'll end up taking the one that my kids got back so that they can whatever. So we've got two copies of the same game, but it's a pretty fun one. It looks like it's going to be fun anyway. It's called What Do You Meme? Have you heard of this?
I was just when you said something about the game, I'm like, did Alex get it for you? And then I saw this. Sorry. What's it called? What do you meme?
What do you meme?
I've heard of it, but I don't know that I know anything outside of seeing it. I think at Target or something.
Yeah. So I opened it up, and it looks like it's going to be a blast for our family to play, and and maybe we can even play it a little bit in a few minutes, and we can come up with some different variations of ways to play it. But it's there you go. Katie loves it. It's got Katie's endorsement. It's basically Apples to Apples or Cards Against Humanity, but with memes.
Oh,
so it looks like you get these cards, like these different images, pictures, memes, whatever.
Yeah.
Like this one, and you put this on display, and everybody has a stack of.
Oh, and you got to figure out what's the best words that would go with it.
Yeah, so they've got captions, and they have to pick the caption that they think fits best. And like if it's my turn, I have to identify which of those cards I think is the best caption for that meme. So it looks kind of funny. Looks kind of cute. It's kind of creative.
We should create. Alex, can you create a Teach Better version of that?
Yeah, I'm sure he's got pictures on his phone of everybody in every situation and everything.
Just call it "What Are You Better?" It doesn't have to make sense. We'll just steal from that. That's cool. That'll be fun.
Yeah, so I was thinking when I got the game, I immediately went to okay, we can play this when we're on vacation. We'll sit around the table at the place on a rainy day or whatever. But I was also thinking, although I'm in Florida, heading down to Miami. Still a 9.5 hour drive.
That's so
I was trying to think of
hour drive. Wow.
It is, yeah. And I go from Central Time Zone to Eastern Time Zone, so it's really like 10.5 psychologically. Yeah. But I was thinking, are there ways that we could play this game while driving still too, so that we don't have to sit around? And I was just thinking, we could do it like the inverse. I could come up with a caption, and then everybody on their little device or tablet or whatever, they have to go find the image that they think best represents that tablet, so we can play it the opposite way too. So the kids always want to be on.
So they're gonna like Google
find an image, yeah. So like if I had a caption and it was Florida Man, they get to then go and find the image that they think best represents Florida Man or something along those lines, and then we could just have some laughs and make a joke and play.
That'd be fun, just to figure out, see how many of those captions actually already have memes,
right?
Right, and how many have multiple. Like,
yeah,
that could be fun because then if you're driving, you're just shouting out.
I'm just shouting out the quotes, right? and letting them play amongst themselves. So, and that way I don't have to argue. Put your devices down. Just stare out the window. They can have them, but we're all going to be engaged together. So,
all right, so that's cool. So you'll do that Christmas Eve. Then what's Christmas look like? And is it different this year because you have a family now, right? Everybody come to your house?
They'll come over after. So my kids are
after what?
After the madness. So my little guys. Are a lot like Ray Hewitt. They will start tracking Santa probably when Brad and Ray start doing it on Daily Drop-In. They'll probably start tracking Santa at that moment.
Okay.
As soon as the movie is done on Christmas Eve night, they run off to bed and they try to force themselves to sleep. Like they will literally close their eyes and try to force sleep upon themselves. And then around 4:30 or 5, they all start arguing upstairs to try to wake each other up. And then once the last one is awake, then the madness ensues. So it'll be fun.
So when you do presents in the morning, do they just tear in, or do you make them go person to person? Like, how do you guys handle that?
Oh yeah, so that's a great question too. This has been a negotiation now
in my family
for 21 years. So in my wife's family, it was just have fun. Let's see what happens. In my family, it was take your time, one person at a time, so we can all look and celebrate.
One person, one present. That's how we
exactly. Do it. So that's what we finally gotten to here 21 years later. But it's been some give and take. There's been a lot of
you
negotiations.
do like one kid opens one present and the next. So
Yeah.
we do that. We've gotten my mom to agree to occasionally we would do. We're like, you open all of yours, and the next person open all of theirs. On Sunday we did. You did 2 at a time, and it still took forever. But there's like 20 of us there, and like the kids all buy for everyone too. So there's like additional. It took forever.
One of the advantages to it in my household is it helps eliminate after the fact the kids arguing about whose present is whose. Because now we're all witnesses, and when I got kids that are close in age, they don't have to both argue. No, that's mine. No, we honestly all saw who opened it. So
from a parent, it also gives you have opportunities to get a lot of pictures and video, and you get to enjoy every single and excitement and stuff. You know what I mean? Like there's a
from a dad perspective, I can actually see what the kids are getting. So it's.
See, I don't know. That's not my dad's book. I
know it was a joke. Yeah,
I didn't just buy the box 15 years ago. Although that used to be my dad. I used to love my dad. We'd open up the one that was from dad. We'd always have at least one that was just from dad, not mom and dad, just dad. And he never knew what it was. Never knew what it was. He'd be like, "Oh, oh." And he like look at my mom, and as I got older, I'm like, he's looking at her going, "Is that the one for me?" And she's giving him a look, and I'm like, I get it.
That's funny. That's funny.
It's fun stuff. So one cool thing we're doing, and we were going to do it tomorrow night, but we might actually end up doing it tonight. We did the Elf on a Shelf this year. Kids aren't home, so we're safe.
If you're cooking right now and you have kids in the area, earmuffs.
Yes, everyone. Yeah, don't. I'm not gonna. So last year we did gingerbread houses with the kids, and it was a lot. You buy the kits, and it was a lot of fun, but it was really hard building the house. Building the houses was the hard part. So I bought them two. I bought 2 gingerbread houses, but I bought dog houses because we're dog kids. They're gonna love that. They're smaller, a little bit easier to build.
That's awesome.
But then I found Walmart had ones that were the gingerbread house is fully assembled. You just decorate it. So the one that's fully assembled, which is the hard part, fully decorated, Amy's gonna decorate as sprinkles, and it's gonna be set out with your turn, like a challenge
sprinkles
card.
The elf, right? Yeah, okay.
Yes, because hers was the easy one, so it's gonna look great and super well put together and stuff. And then the kids, I'm just setting them up to look horrible in front of sprinkles, basically. But that's gonna be fun because then I have 3 gingerbread houses I can eat.
That's awesome. Good for you, man. Well
that's
played.
That's gonna be fun. We're almost done with that.
And that's the thing. When you can turn Christmas into it really being about the adults, that's when you know you have it mastered.
That's what it's about, isn't it?
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Who said hi there? Hi, Andrea. And Sally, it's good to see you guys. Carrie's watching. So Christmas Day is that, and then everyone's coming over?
Then they'll all start trickling over. They'll start trickling over at some point.
Cook a big meal and stuff, or just watching the Browns?
I'll be watching the NBA on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Assuming the games are still scheduled in play or whatever. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Or I'll find an excuse to do some work to try to get ahead of things since I'll be out all week and I can just lock myself in the office here and let them do whatever they want to do.
If you could do a little bit of work, to be honest.
So maybe I'll do a brain break on Saturday just so I can knock that out and feel good about it.
Just record yourself and what you think you would say to me the whole time. And I will do my brain break. That might actually be a lot of fun. And you record 60 minutes of yourself. Some of it you'll be sitting, listening. Others
I'll just sit here and I'll be like,
yeah. I disagree with that, Jeff. Like,
I'll just sit here and drink and laugh. That's fun.
Yeah, maybe in Ohio, Jeff. And then the challenge for me is I have to make that an entertaining conversation with you.
That could be so fun. I could literally play one of these games, like maybe the game I'm gonna share with you in just a second. I could play it and then you have to interact.
With me.
Yeah. I don't know.
The thing is, I would have to commit to not watching it beforehand. So it's purely just trying to figure out as we go. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. What do you have? You have cards in your hand.
This is the game that I got the kids last year. That's been a lot of fun for them. I brought this to a brain break before, but I think it was when I had a special guest, and I don't think you've had the opportunity to play it yet.
Which one is it?
It is called Stuff Happens. Have I brought this game to you yet?
I don't think so.
So Stuff Happens is an interesting game, and one of the things that I like to do is once we've had a game for a while, we start to invent our own rules to try to tailor it a little bit. So let me tell you how the game is supposed to be played, and then how we can kind of tailor it to our purposes here. So stuff happens at the game. Each person ends up, they start off with 3 cards in their hand. Okay. The cards all describe an incident, some sort of incident that's considered to be bad. It's a horrible incident, a stuff happens type of thing. And on that card, underneath that incident, the makers of that card have given that incident, that thing, a misery index from 0 to 100.
Okay.
So they've said that thing is so bad, we're going to give it an 82. The other thing in your hand might be a 75. The other thing, whatever. You space these things out in order. Then you pick a card. Then you have to try to guess where that next card fits in the misery index. So does it fit between 52 and 70? Does it fit between which 2 cards does it fit between?
Do you know what's on the card first, or you guess before you even see the card?
So let's say that you and I are playing. You got your 3 cards out. I would pick the card and I would read it to you, so you don't get to see the number. Mm-hmm. So for example, this is how we could play it. We could play it like high-low, so you don't have to have other cards. I'll give you the incident, and I'll say, do you think this misery index is higher than this or lower than this on a scale of 0 to 100?
Okay, let's try one.
Okay, so I'll start with an easy one. I say it's easy. Being tasered. Do you think that is higher or lower than 50? Meaning 100 is the worst thing that could ever happen to somebody.
Lower.
0 is like definitely an amazing day.
Lower.
So you think being tasered is lower than 50?
I would hope so. In the grand scheme of things that can happen to you, that are bad, if they're all bad at some level, like taser's not. I can think of quite a few worse things.
Well, I'm sure you could. Which I don't think anybody here is going to say being tasered is 100.
I think it's lower. I think it's lower than 50.
Okay, it is lower than 50. It is 27.5. Okay,
0.5. Okay,
27. Yeah. So then the context would be, so you get the next card. And this one, you have to decide, is it higher or lower than that one now?
But are you going to tell me what's on it?
Yeah. No, okay. Just tell me, Jeff, is this card higher or lower?
I was like, I don't know if it was like a guessing of like what it's going to be. I'm like, oh, that's weird. But
that's a dumb game.
All right. So what's the next one?
Okay. So the next random draw. Keep in mind that it's a big old stack, and I just happen to grab whatever. We're having fun. You fart loudly and repeatedly at a funeral. So you're sitting in a funeral and you just can't stop what's happening.
Lower.
You think that's less miserable than being tased?
I've had both of those happen to me, and I think it's less miserable.
At the same time? Did one lead to the other?
Why was I being tased at a funeral? Like, because I was farting.
Why were you being tased at all?
Because I was farting uncontrollably at a funeral, right? And they're like, dude, shut up. I think that's lower.
Okay, so here's my rationale.
Alex is going in at 22.6.
And so tasered was 27.5.
Mm-hmm.
So tasing, though, it's never happened to me, but I feel like once it's done, it's done. Like this one, I feel like there's shame and guilt and embarrassment that lingers. Well, there's a lot of things lingering in that moment, but like the shame and guilt is lingering as well. It's not like it's just over.
There shouldn't be any guilt there. It doesn't make sense for guilt.
Okay.
It's not like you decided to fart. It's uncontrollably. You said uncontrollably. Didn't you?
Said you fart loudly and repeatedly.
Oh, okay. So not necessarily. You could be choosing to, in which case you should feel both shame and guilt. I'm going to say lower.
Okay, yeah. Lower. So that one was a 16.
16. Okay. That's pretty. Okay.
See, and Alex, the embarrassment factor agreed, right? Because now if you're going to like the dinner or the lunch afterwards, you now have to confront people face to face. Unless you're doing the pointing to the person next to you, like them.
If you remove the embarrassment out of that, it's a 0. Like it's not that bad of a thing to happen to you if you fart loud a few times, even no matter where you're at. But the funeral piece is only relevant because it creates embarrassment and maybe some feeling bad because you disturbed it and stuff, right? That's what makes it bad. Okay. Interesting. So
you kind of get the context of the game. So in the game, you start off with 3 cards, and if you get one right, then you get that card, and it makes it a little bit harder because now the spread is a little bit less. So I've got like 27.5 and 16. So I now have to decide, is it down here? Is it over here? Is it in between? So where does the card fit?
So how do you decide which 2 you go in between? Because now
you get to pick. So with the next card, so for example, the next card is attend a 4-hour opera. Do you think it's less than 16 because that's one of your cards? you think it's between 27.5 and 16, or do you think it's more than 27? So you have to figure out where you think it fits in your
Easier
crowd.
to do when the cards are in front of you. Harder
Correct.
to do with this.
So for this one, we can just do like
What is it? A
over
10
under.
to 4 hour
a
opera?
10 to 4 hour opera.
Damn, dude, I think that's worse than 16. It's worse
I think that's worse than being tased.
But you don't have to. No. Depends on if you like opera and if it's good or not.
And let's say, and you have to stay awake. So you can't just say, "Well, I went there," but you have.
But
to
here's the problem: is that depending on the opera, it could be really bad or not that bad. Depending
Give me
on
a good opera.
Phantom of the Opera.
Is that a good opera? I've never seen it. Is that good?
I don't freaking
it's
know.
famous. I don't know if it's good.
What if you love that? What if you love opera? Same thing with tasing, because
Who loves opera?
There are a lot of different ways and reasons you can get tased that make them a lot worse or a lot better. Just saying.
Okay.
If I'm getting tased because my buddy and Dave and I are goofing around and want to see what it's like to get tased, that's down here. If we get tased because someone was attacking me for some, you know what I mean? But yeah, I know I realize we're getting too deep for the game. I'm putting that below tase. I'm gonna put it at a 9, like a below tase, but above funeral. Farting.
Actually, they only labeled it at a 9.
So it's lower.
9. It's ridiculous. They're saying it's not a big deal. And no way. I think that's horrible. So let me just give you a couple more. And I know we're going through like, what did the makers of the game decide? But there are some of these when you look at it, you're just like, what were they thinking? So incurable hiccups.
Ooh. I mean,
do you want to guess it before I just tell you the number?
Well, it's higher than all of them. It's got to be 80 plus.
Really?
Incurable hiccups? You had hiccups forever?
See, I'm looking at that.
You would eventually die.
Well, everybody eventually dies.
No. You would die from that, is what I'm saying. Like, it would kill you.
Die from hiccups.
Because you would wear out your muscles and your stress. Like, you wouldn't, like, your quality of life would be horrible if you couldn't stop hiccuping. Are you kidding me?
Okay, so now let me just ask you this. Which one is worse? Incurable hiccups or biting your tongue off?
Oh, geez. I would say probably biting your tongue off. That's hard to say because biting your tongue off, it's done and then you're dealing with that. But like, the incurable hiccups would just be like constant, like, oh man.
But then you get over it, right? If it's just the way that you are, you're just like, it is what it is.
Maybe. I don't know. That's tough. Which one do they have? What do they have listed as?
So incurable hiccups is 88.
Okay. I
said 89.
Wow.
So you're good at this game. Because I'm looking at biting your tongue off. I'm like, that's crazy. No way. I would hate that. And the hiccups, I was like, it's not a big deal. Like, I think I would rather get incurable hiccups than go to a 4-hour opera. I mean, that's serious.
But you're not. The hiccups, like, it would be an involuntary action that would interrupt literally every aspect of your life forever. Cut your tongue off would interrupt certain aspects of your life, not all of them. Okay. Incurable hiccups would literally interrupt every single thing you do for the rest of your life.
Okay.
Just saying.
Okay. A couple more of these real quick because they're interesting. I like hearing the way that you rationalize some of these. Because you are an interesting person here. Okay. Your favorite neighbor dies versus you gain 30 pounds.
Oh, I'm pretty sure favorite neighbor died is worse.
You would think, right?
Yeah, that's definitely worse.
Okay. How about your favorite neighbor dies versus you bite your tongue off?
There's my rationale. Approved by Brittany Wolf.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Say that again.
Your favorite neighbor dies versus biting your tongue off.
So to me, it would still be neighbor dies because I think it depends on, like, is it what actually happens to me or the pain in which it'll cause me? Because someone that I love dies, that's going to cause, like, that's terrible. That's going to cause a lot of pain for me. Biting tongue off would cause pain too, but it's a different type of pain. Alex says his neighbors are old anyway.
Alex, I hope your neighbors aren't watching this.
What do they have that listed as?
34. Right?
Oh, man. Well, I guess
these must be people like me that, like, okay, the favorite of all these people, and I don't like any of them. So
I mean,
I'll
I guess
pick a favorite, whatever.
if we want to be really true, I mean, like as a species, we do get over death pretty quickly.
Pretty quickly.
I hate to say that, but like that seems really low.
I agree with you.
They must just really rate.
He's out there. I don't know if you can see the picture. He's out there watering his yard, and a meteor hits him.
Is it me? Oh my gosh!
And I think if that actually happened, it would probably be much lower. That'd be so cool.
The story you'd have to tell for the rest of your
Right?
life. Like, you'd be like, "Cheers to you, my neighbor friend. Will you
Yeah.
take one for the team?" This
That's
got
pretty cool.
dark.
Yeah. Yeah.
This got a little dark, Dave. Can
So-
we do something that's not that next to finish this
What can
off?
I say? It's Christmas. We're all in misery. You like how I brought that full circle? Yeah.
Give me one more card.
One more.
card.
Let me make it a fairly good one that we can all relate to.
Is the one on there for you have to move to Florida?
No.
It's 102.
Oh, what would that be? So, what if Jeff Gargas had to move from Stowe, Ohio, to Florida during 2022? If you had to move to Florida, what would it be?
In the grand scheme of things, it's actually probably pretty low. That would be further away from my family. Closer to Dave, so there's a positive there.
I don't know. We could still be 9.5 hours away.
That's true. Depending on where we're at, it might not actually be that much closer. I don't know. That's an interesting one. I think in the grand scheme of things, it probably wouldn't be super high.
Okay, what would be worse, you having to move to Florida or me having to move to Ohio?
Definitely me having to move to Florida.
You think so?
Yeah. Like, I know you don't like Ohio State, but you guys are nuts down there. Bunch of freaking wackos.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, on that, I'll give you the last. I'm going to give you the last card. The last card. Your worst clown nightmare comes true.
No, 104.
Do you have any clown nightmares? Like
Game over, man. Game over, dude. Sorry, that was. What do they rate that as? That's got to be
87. They have ones on here like you get kidnapped by Somali pirates. You catch Ebola. You catch smallpox.
I like the clown nightmare coming true is literally just slightly worse than cutting or biting your tongue.
Off, right? Yeah.
Or slightly not as bad.
Pennywise chases you for eternity.
Is the clown nightmare worse than getting kidnapped by pirates?
It's right up there. They're close. They're close to each other. I don't remember the exact. Yeah.
I mean, I guess depending on what your nightmare is, that could be pretty bad.
Right.
I mean,
yeah. I remember
clowns
when I was
in my nightmares are the clowns from Killer Clowns from Outer Space. So that's where I'm at. Like, I don't want to be the popcorn thing, whatever cocoon thing that they formed into cotton candy and stuff.
When I was a kid, I felt like I used to play a game very similar to this, just with my friends. Like we would always come up with "Would you rather's."
Yeah, like would you rather stuff. Yeah.
Would you rather fall off the top of a building onto a bike, or would you rather jump into a lake of fire? And it's the same concept, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now you got this objective random person that came up with these numbers. Can you imagine being in that boardroom when they developed the game and like, okay, let's spread out the cards. Let's come up with our rankings.
I wonder if they looked into things like, I'm sure there's surveys and data out there that they could pull from to see like what do people fear the most and stuff like that. Like, yeah. I bet if is there a card in there for like you have to speak publicly in front of people? It's probably one of the worst ones
I'm
on
sure
there.
Public speaking is somewhere. Yeah, because
a lot of the research shows that people actually fear public speaking more than they fear death.
Yeah, that's true.
So
it does say that they had a panel of experts that look like they're all social workers and therapists that they interviewed for. So
I'm wondering if that's what they took from actual, and there's actually a little bit of, we'll call it science.
So for those people that are watching this, 4-hour opera, 1-hour brain break. Which one is harder to sit through?
And we're out of time. Imagine a 4-hour brain break.
Oh, sweet Jesus!
I mean, we do 12-hour things.
You and I would have a blast. I don't know
we
about
would have
everybody else. Yeah,
I think we should do that.
Ooh, if we can do 12-hour lives, I think we can do a 4-hour brain break.
We should do a 4-hour brain break, and like that could be entertaining. That's the one where we would have to like at some point portion of that name would be you and me like playing like a video game for the first time, like we'd like play like Among Us or something. I don't even know if that's cool with kids anymore. Or like that, or we'd play a full game of this thing and not actually say anything to anybody. Just
I think this is something for us to consider maybe for 22. Make Ryan Seacrest. Give Ryan Seacrest some competition on New Year's Eve. Let's just
do a New Year's Eve brain
yeah.
break.
Yeah.
I'm free this New Year's Eve.
Yeah, well, I'll be in Miami. So
actually, I'm pretty sure my favorite neighbor is coming over.
Oh, right. Okay.
No, I'm pretty sure if he was here, he'd be like, "Dude, I'm a 20. Don't worry, like it's cool."
Speaking, so I won't be here next week to talk New Year's. Do you have New Year's plans?
No, actually, we just we didn't. I texted him the other day. I'm like I wasn't actually like inviting him. I'm like, hey, you guys have a New Year's plan? Because we were just like hadn't talked to you for a while because I hadn't seen him casually. He's like coming to Garga's house. I'm like, oh, all right. He goes, let me know what we need to bring. I'm like, all right. It's cool when they come over because like they're across the street, so they go home before midnight usually. Like it's easy in and out. We don't go anywhere. We used to, first few years living here, we had massive parties, like dozens and dozens of people who spent the night at our house, and then it went from that to one year being like no one. Most likely, I'd go either way.
Okay.
For me though, if I'm gonna have like a party, I want it to be like a big party.
You want all the neighbors to be there so nobody can call the cops.
I want everyone to come in. So what'll most likely happen is I will go out and buy appetizers or make appetizers and get food and all this stuff as if we're having 40 to 50 people over and there's like 7 of us. So we'll eat a lot of food and we'll sit around. Amy will most likely fall asleep as we're watching Adam Sandler movies, and then I'll wake her up just in time for the ball. And then she'll go back to sleep. I'll finish watching Happy Gilmore or whatever's on until the next ball drops for CT time, and then I watch multiple ball drops throughout the night.
See, I
always gotta call my brother and I gotta call my mom right at midnight, and I yell at him because I used to be at parties and I'd be like, "Everyone say hi to my mom," and they'd so that she knew I was alive and we were drunk. So now I call and it's really quiet, and I'm like, "Amy's sleeping, but Happy New Year."
So brilliant.
Life changes.
We now celebrate the New Year in London.
Okay, say more.
Because then I can go to bed at 9:00.
Oh, you do? Is that when it is?
Yeah. It is here. So no matter where we are, London is what we celebrate, because the little kids, they always want to celebrate the New Year. So
you'll be in you'll be in ET, so it will be 9:00. Is that what it is?
I think it'll be 10:00. Well, maybe, I don't know. I think it is 9:00 because last year was 9:00 when I was in Myrtle Beach.
Michigan.
So
yeah. Oh, so will your family that's in town, will they still be in town? Will they all come over on New Year's Eve, or
no? You guys? Yeah, I won't even be here. I'll be gone. So
that's right. You can be.
They're all leaving on the day after Christmas.
Right. So you'll be in Miami, just hanging out.
Yeah, it's a fun day. And so New Year's Eve is when Michigan plays in the Orange Bowl against Georgia.
So this New Year's Eve.
Yeah, New Year's Eve is that game. It's like 10 minutes away from where I'm going to be. So
did you do anything on New Year's Day then? Is there a tradition outside of watching football?
Drive home. But normally it's just I try my best to sneak in a football game if I can watch one. But when I had kids, I turned from a sports fan to a Sports Center fan. So I don't really get to sit down and watch full games of anything anymore.
Yeah. We'll spend New Year's Day over at Amy's parents, and her mom always cooks Portland sauerkraut, and it's delicious, and we'll watch football because her dad will have it on. So I don't usually. I have worked really hard. I know we've talked about this on Brain before, how I have to work really hard to enjoy my weekends because I love working so much, which is really weird, and I feel so guilty about it all the time. But one of the things that I've done is like on Sundays, I'm watching the Browns game, and then I usually force myself, I'm going to watch the next game after, whoever that is. And some Sundays I end up watching and I might do things here and there around the house there too, but I've watched more football, I think, this year than I have in many, many seasons past.
That's awesome.
So I do get to do that, but like most any other type sports and throughout the rest of the year, it's just, if I care, I watch Sports Center, but usually I forget that there's even sports on at that point. So Like, hey, the Indians won last night, or the Guardians won last night. I'm like, I didn't even know they were playing baseball anymore. Do they still do that?
I was gonna say, being a Cleveland fan, it's sort of like me being a Detroit fan. You can forget that they're actual sports teams that play.
Did you catch Cavs last night? I don't know. Is LeBron back? No. All right. I saw something that Kevin Love tweeted though. Does that count? Yeah, because usually what's on TV is kid stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Now it's better in our house because they both have tablets. So if they really want to watch stuff, they'll watch on their iPad, and we do get to watch a little bit more and stuff. But which we're making a big switch. We're making the jump to YouTube TV.
Look at
It's gonna save us a ton of money too. It is so much cheaper than cable.
Yeah, and so you're still going to get internet through the same provider, or what?
Yeah, I'm actually going to take the money that we're saving and increase our internet speed and still save money, quite a bit of money, and get every single channel that we would need and more. And
keep in mind,
it's all
you won't get ABC and ESPN and Disney right now because they did not reach an agreement with YouTube. So
yeah, but I have Disney. We have Disney Plus. So
who cares? Yeah, do your thing.
It's all okay. But they'll figure that out too. They'll get that sorted out. YouTube has the money to pay Disney.
That's true.
They're just I'm like,
it's a power play.
Sammy said something about it. I'm like, I'm like, they'll figure it out. It might take a while, but they'll figure it out. I'm like, neither one of them needs that contract to be wherever they want it to be right now.
Yeah.
So you have two of the most powerful companies. Have you seen? So this is a whole other thing. There's a chart. I have to find it. Someone plotted out and put it in like a chart that like a motion chart of the increase in prices from like 1940 to now of average home cost, college cost, rent cost, something else, and then Disney, like going to Disney. And it's literally like they're all like this going up, and then like by the time you hit like 2000s, everything's down here and Disney's way up top. Like it is the amount, like, and it's percentage based, like on how much.
I'm pulling it up right now.
The level to which the prices of going to Disney have increased compared to everything else is up. It is. When I saw that, I'm like, oh my God, I don't know if I ever want to watch a Disney movie ever again. This is horrible. It is crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Right?
It is just terrible. So that's where we're like, hey, we're not going to do Disney. We're going to do Lego Discoveryland instead.
Cedar Point. Yeah, here we go.
We're not quite to the Cedar Point yet, but at some point that'll be it. We'll just do Cedar Point every year. That'll be our vacation.
Well, for people that don't know Cedar Point, it's a great amusement park in Ohio, more roller coasters than anywhere else.
Hold on a second. It's the best.
It is. It's the best on the planet. I will legitimately say that. It is amazing.
I mean, it's almost in Michigan, though. So, like...
Well, yeah, you can see the Michigan from the top of the Magnum. But a couple years ago, my in-laws actually got us family season passes there, which a season pass for Cedar Point is only $20 more than a day pass. Just throwing that out there for you.
The season pass?
You get a season pass. It's only $20
the season passes
more than a day
are
pass.
really cheap. So, look, they already reached an agreement. Carrie knows.
There you go.
Cedar Point, man, that was fun. So that's about 2 hours from where I grew up, and we used to go up there so much that I knew that park like the back of my hand, which I don't know how well I know the back of my hand, but assuming I did know it well, that's how well I do it. I love that place. I've been there in years though, but that's a gym. That's a win for Ohio. Ohio gets a win on that one.
Agreed.
We don't have many, but we do have that one.
I agree. Well, it's got Jeff Gargas, Chad Ostrowski,
the Rock Hall of Fame, and Cedar Point.
Megan Anderson.
Have you been to the Rock Hall of Fame?
I've been next to it. Did not go inside.
Why were you next to it? Were you at the Browns game?
No, I was
the Science Center.
I was in Cleveland in February, like 3 or 4 years ago, walking around downtown and was just looking for somewhere to get warm. So I saw that and was like, I'm going, and it was closed. So I stood in a little alcove just trying to warm up because you can see it's like Lake Erie is right there and it's bitter
right
and stupid.
Water,
and, so I didn't go in, but I was as close as you could get.
What were you doing in downtown Cleveland randomly?
Just truly randomly saying I've never been to Cleveland. Let's go to Cleveland.
Okay.
This was before you and me were a thing, Jeff. This is pre-Gargas.
Okay.
Yeah. It gets boring and lonely in Michigan. So I thought, let's go south. Let's go to Cleveland.
So you've never been in the Rock Hall's really cool. Been there a couple times.
Now,
I
the
actually got to
Country
go to-
Music Hall of Fame, that's a
Where's that?
different story.
That's not in Michigan.
No, that's Nashville. It's
I would imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah. What does Florida have? Disneyland, which we just figured out is like
Busch
horrible.
Gardens, Disney World,
Busch Gardens down there? Okay.
SeaWorld.
Yeah, SeaWorld down there.
Yeah. I think that's about it.
SeaWorld down there, but SeaWorld's evil too.
Yeah.
Although I don't know. So I follow this guy on TikTok that does a lot of stuff about nature and stuff, and this dude does a bunch of videos on killer whales. Have you ever watched like how they treat other animals in the ocean?
Well, I'm sure they're not nice. Have you heard
No,
their
no,
name?
but they beat the crap out of seals and stingrays and stuff, not to eat them, just to torment them.
Oh, well then capture them all.
Like they're just like evil.
Put them all in a
Like,
tank
they're
somewhere.
jerks, man. They're magnificent. I am just to be clear, I'm not saying that's what we should treat them bad. I just never knew that about them. Like they're just like they're kind of bullies. But like most animals, like, oh, like, well, yeah, the animal kills a little animal, but that's like the circle of life and da da da. But like, no, they just like will beat the crap and kill a seal and then leave it.
Well, that's just rude.
Like, what are they doing? I don't know. Maybe more animals do that. I don't know. This guy just happened to.
Free Willy just took a completely different slant from me right now.
Yeah, it's like Free Willy. No, put him back in. He's gonna hurt someone. No.
Punch him in the nose.
That scene. Oh, he puts his hand up. The whale over top of him, and Michael Jackson in the background. You're just like,
oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Oh man, I'm gonna go watch that. That is nostalgia in a whale.
Okay.
So that's where we're at right now. All right. So if biting your tongue off is an 88, 89, what is getting beat up by a killer whale and not eaten? Like, look, if I'm in the ocean, killer whale kills me and eats me, I was in his dinner bowl. That's my fault. But if he's just gonna beat me up and kill me, that's like a 92 at that point, right?
Did I get a few punches in? I don't know, because that changes it. Like,
does it matter? You don't get to live to tell about it. What does it matter at that point?
That's true. Well,
we'll say yes, and that's why. No, because then you can justify him leaving you there like a jerk.
Okay.
You just laid life. You're like, look, man, you win. I'm in your bowl. Like, you want to eat me? And he's just like, nope, I'm just going to kill you, and then I'm going to leave. And you're like, this is not the circle of life.
Isn't that what we do to a lot of things, though? Just saying. Bugs and insects and rodents.
I eat everything I kill.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. You're a way better person than me.
Saying that's not true at all. I don't do that at all. Yeah, but so that's a good point. Maybe they do that because it's just like us with a bug, and the whale's like, I don't like this stingray in my house.
Yeah,
dead.
See,
I just completely got a whole newfound respect for him.
Maybe stingrays are the mosquitoes of the ocean.
Wow.
What if they invented an ocean life zapper? You know how we have like bug zappers that sit outside, and
I think they did. It's called a killer whale.
Yeah, and they just put it in their tank, and any animal that came through just got zapped. And they're like, should have stayed out of my home.
What are we doing here?
I don't know. Is there anybody even watching anymore? If they are, I'm
Do you realize that you are a doctor?
Not the kind that helps people, though.
Yeah. You have a doctorate in education, and this is what we're talking about right now.
Mm-hmm. Let this be a lesson, people.
That's just because someone has a DR in front of their name.
Your student loans might not necessarily be worth it.
Oh, man. You know what, though? This nonsense that has ensued for the last 5 to 10 minutes, particularly the whole thing, but this is what
I thought you were going to say 24 months. Sorry.
This is Brain Break. This is what it is.
This is in its purest
at this
form
point.
right
If they chime in at all for Brain Break, we should not be surprised at this point. Anyway, just I want to set the record straight that I actually do believe that orca whales are beautiful animals that should not be treated any differently than anything else, and they shouldn't be held in captivity. Okay, just want to make sure I said that. It's dangerous. Okay. Now, with that said, I was trying to think of another animal that I could go to and be like these guys, but I'm like, I can't think of any. I like them all.
But don't do it because somebody will do it. They'll say they
I
heard it from
know.
Jeff Gargas. It would be
Yeah.
the one person that watches Brain Break that
Yeah.
you know, and it's not worth it.
You know, I don't know. My daughter just got a little stuffed sloth, and she goes, "Yeah, this is a sloth. I thought it was a koala, but it's a sloth." And I'm like, "Why'd you think it was a koala?" And she's like, "Because it looks like a koala." And I'm like, "It absolutely does not.
Does not have the qualifications."
And she goes, "Dad, look. It's literally a koala," and walks away. And I'm like, what just happened here? Because I'm like, that's a sloth, girl. And she looked at me so matter of fact, like she knew it was a sloth, but it was literally a koala. And that's how she left me standing there. And that's my daughter in a nutshell.
Okay.
So you take that where you want to take that.
Got it.
Keep that with you. Hold it tight. When do you leave for Miami?
Monday, yeah. Because my son's birthday is
Miami
Tuesday.
Monday, as they call it.
Yeah. It's going to be trending.
They still have the Vice down there?
I will let you know.
You let me know.
I will let you know.
Let me know how that looks. And
yeah.
If Will Smith is down there, let me know if he's down there too. Ooh, is Dan Marino still down there? Snowflake?
I don't think so. But again, I'll let you know.
Take pictures. I'd love to.
Okay.
Please, I hope someone's getting the references that I'm throwing out right now. I would really appreciate it if you did.
I do have to go buy some new white jeans and a pink polo though. So I think
you don't have a pink polo already.
I do, but I got to find some white jeans to go with it.
You gotta get the white jeans Don Johnson style. I love it. All right, well, I hope you have an awesome Christmas, my friend. I know I might see you in the next 2 days, but we're not gonna be live to say it. If you're watching, thanks for chiming in and going through this nonsense with us. And treat your orcas with respect. And
stuff happens, people. Just remember that
stuff happens. Having I'm just picturing the white leisure suit now. Like it is like
I feel like the challenge has been accepted. I will have one. Alex, by the next time I see you, I will have a white leisure suit. I already have the fancy deck shoes.
Yeah, you're ready to go on a boat.
Yeah.
You definitely live in Florida.
Just need a boat.
All right. Merry Christmas or happy holidays, wherever you celebrate. I hope you all have an amazing New Year. I'll see you next week. Same time, same place. Dave will be in Miami, so we will, pour a little out in his honor or something. I don't know. I am looking for a guest. If someone wants to join me next week, I have not booked that slot, so that's open. So just DM me, let me know, and you can come be my better Dave, as I call it.
They have a new bar that they need to rise to. They've seen what just happened, right?
Is rise the right word?
Good luck, people.
Is rise the right word?
It's like limbo, actually, and the bar is just way down here. So you can just step over it or climb under it.
It was tough. It was it could be tough to get it. We just made it real easy.
Yeah.
Push that down here a little further there and stuff. All right. Well, I'm going to enjoy the rest of my cranberry sauce alcoholic beverage here. You all have an amazing night. Appreciate you, Dave. And we'll see you next week.